Today we're going to talk a little bit about optimizing retail operations with real-time solutions. My name is Shash Anand. I am the Senior Vice President of Product Strategy at a company called SOTI. How many of you guys have heard of SOTI before? Wonderful. All right, so I'll give a quick overview for those of you that don't know. But with me is Tom Spoke, and get this, guys, he works for a company called Trek Bicycle. Spoke, Bicycle. Tom, can you introduce yourself?
So, can you hear me okay? Great. So how many of you have heard of Trek Bicycle? Awesome. How many of you own a Trek Bicycle? Awesome.
Oh, wow.
Thank you for being customers. Appreciate it. So my name's Tom Spoke. Again, I've been at Trek for 23 years. I'm responsible for a majority of the business applications that we run at Trek. And yeah, very happy to be here.
All right, so for those of you that did not raise your hands or don't know a little bit about SOTI, I thought I'd just give you a quick introduction. Many organizations in retail are using mobile devices throughout their entire operations, whether that's inside the warehouse, whether they're driving, they're doing deliveries, drivers are scanning packages, you're inside a warehouse, you're scanning boxes. The question becomes, how do you actually manage all these different types of devices that you're using, whether they're on Android, iOS, Windows, Linux, and what are the problems that come up? Well, I've got to update these devices. I've got to get visibility, troubleshoot when devices are, when an end user has a problem with a device. So this is kind of where SOTI comes in. We are a software solution that helps you manage all the different mobile devices that you have. Today, we're a company of over 2,000 people around the world. We're a privately held organization. We've been around since 1995, and this is all we do, just managing mobility. Today, we manage over 22 million devices around the world, and we do this with an ecosystem of over 4,000 partners, and this allows us to operate in over 170 different countries. So more specifically, the platform that we offer is called the SOTI ONE Platform. It essentially consists of a suite of products. First and foremost, it's called Mobi Control. This allows you to configure and deploy applications, configure security on mobile devices, whether that's on Android, iOS, Windows, Linux, Mac OS, Chrome OS, all these types of different devices. As companies are using these devices, they want to understand how their operations are working. So data usage, application usage, Wi-Fi usage, and all of these types of operational questions become a question. Then it's about advanced diagnostics. How do I go and troubleshoot devices in real time? My end users are in mission critical environments. I want to be able to offer really advanced diagnostics so that I solve the problem the first time I'm on a call. We also have tools to help you digitize processes, to help you, maybe if you're using paper and pen processes, how do I make mobile apps? And we leverage AI to help you build mobile apps in literally a few minutes or seconds and get them out there. We also manage printers and scanners and different types of devices that are used inside the organization. We have a full security solution to help you single sign-on and multi-factor authentication. And this is all together called the SOTI ONE Platform. Tom, can you give us a little bit of an overview of Trek?
Yes, I can. So Trek, we opened our doors back in 1976. We're a global manufacturer and distributor of bicycles as well as parts and accessories. So Bontrager is our parts and accessories brand. You may have heard of that. We're headquartered just outside of Madison, Wisconsin. We have basically our vision, right? Our mission at Trek, it's three things. It's building only awesome products that we love, providing incredible hospitality to our retailers, and changing the world by getting more people on bikes. That's really what it's all about. We have thousands of customers of independent bike retailers that we distribute product to, and we also have several hundred of our own Trek-owned retail locations globally. So in terms of our manufacturing and our distribution space, we have three large North American warehouses, and we have one manufacturing facility. And then in Europe, we have a very similar footprint. We have two large warehouses and one large manufacturing facility. And then, rest of world, we're doing business in as legal entities in 25 to 30 countries. we distribute product to almost 100 countries. So we have, footprints all over the globe. So that's a little bit about Trek.
Great. Thank you so much. So what we wanted to do is kind of deep dive into Trek's use cases, understand a little bit about how they're operating and how tech plays into that area. So before SOTI and Trek kind of were working together, we actually uncovered a bunch of business challenges, right? And so let's talk a little bit about some of these challenges that Trek was having prior to using SOTI.
Sure. So going back to our mission, right? It's trying to make our customers, our retailers, wildly successful. We do a lot of things for our retailers. One awesome thing we provide is that if they place an order by 5 p.m., we're going to ship it on the same day. So let's just think about this for a minute, right? Trek retail stores, bicycle stores, they spend their entire, all weekend long, having sales, selling through their product. Come Monday, they're trying to replenish their stores so they can be ready for the following weekend, to open their doors again for, another large sale weekend. So it's pretty cyclical in nature, right? Retailers are spending all weekend long selling through their products, bikes, parts, accessories. Come Monday, they know that if they get their order in by 5 p.m., we're going to ship it on the same day. We have 3 warehouses in North America, so we're basically a 2 to 3 day transportation point from almost anywhere in the US. So 50% of our weekly volume across our warehouses historically falls on a Monday, and 60% of that 50% falls between 3 and 5 p.m., which it's so frustrating. Like,
it's pretty tough.
It happens every week. It's really hard. It's really hard to do, but we manage to keep our on-time percentage in the 99th percentile. Things were going well. Like, we have hundreds and hundreds of scanners that the staff are using across the globe. Then COVID hit, and 2 things happened during COVID. One, as IT staff, we couldn't really enter our manufacturing and our warehousing facilities because we didn't want to, disrupt their security protocols. If we get anyone sick and it shuts the warehouse down, that would be bad. The second thing that happened during COVID is we had a bike boom. Everybody wanted a bike, and we ran out of bikes, and we had to double down on our inventory and try to get more and more product in. So we were challenged because we're managing these scanners across all of our facilities that the staff are using to ship product, manufacture bikes. And prior to SOTI, it's like if a warehouse user had a problem, they're calling us and saying, "Hey, I have an error on my scanner. I don't know what to do. Help." Right? And we're trying to talk them through it over the phone, or we would just be like, "All right, let's send somebody to the warehouse." And we would do that. Like, we'd send folks from our headquarters to the warehouse a few times a week to help just manage support. So again, COVID happened. We were like, we can't go to our warehouses anymore. Our volumes are going through the roof, and every second counts. So,
right. So that's a little bit about operational efficiency. What about the idea of visibility into kind of your rugged devices? What was the challenge there?
Well, we didn't really have the best visibility, right? We knew there were devices deployed. And when I say devices, I mean, we're talking about like scan guns, wearables, things like that users are using to pick and ship products. We didn't really have great visibility. We didn't have an MDM. It was hard to know like the health of our devices. Where are they all across all of our warehouse and manufacturing facilities? Oftentimes things would get lost, misplaced. We had a huge gap there.
Right. And Tom, I guess if you didn't have any type of device management solution, I assume you evaluated us and probably SOTI and maybe others. Can you talk a little bit about that evaluation process? Why would you choose SOTI? Who else did you guys look at?
Yeah. So when we finally got to the point where we're like, we have a need. We need an MDM. It needs to be, it needs to check all the boxes, right? We had a list of requirements. We're a big Microsoft shop at Trek. We use Microsoft Teams, MS Office, Azure, everything. So we looked at Intune. Didn't check nearly enough of the boxes that we needed. We looked at SOTI, and it checked all the boxes and more. It was really a no-brainer in terms of like, should we move forward with this platform or not? So that's kind of the process we went through.
Okay, and let's talk. You talked a little bit about the troubleshooting, but how was troubleshooting done? Like a user has a problem, you said you'd call them over the phone. Did they ever have to ship devices back? Did IT ever have to go to the stores? What? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, all of the above. I mean, it was support is challenging. Trek, we're a very complex company. We go out of our way to make our retailers wildly successful, and we deploy very customized, complex logic to the warehouse scanners. Right? If we're shipping, we not only do we sell and ship bikes, but we distribute hazardous materials, so like CO2 or lubricants that you use for cleaning your chains, food items like nutritional supplements, and electric bikes, not just regular electric bikes, but fast bikes that actually have to be registered as vehicles in some countries, in some states. So very complex warehouse processing because the warehouse staff needs to know what to do for all these different products that we sell. Depending on where we ship, they may have to need additional paperwork or process the shipment in a specific way. And it was very, very complex to support all those business processes.
Wonderful. And then, of course, everybody talks a lot about security and compliance. Those are very, very important, especially in the retail scenario. Can you talk about some of the challenges you guys had from a security and compliance perspective, and how did SOTI help?
Yes. So our CIO, for him, top of mind obviously is security, right? Like making sure that we have minimal vulnerabilities across our entire IT and just company overall. We have hundreds and hundreds of scanners out there that are connected to our Wi-Fi, connected to our network. And we oftentimes will observe vulnerabilities that we need to patch. So prior to SOTI, we didn't have a great way to do that. It was very, very manual. We basically didn't do anything. And, so now we're getting...
Say that out loud.
We're good now. Okay, we're patched up and secure now thanks to, this MDM tool.
And so I guess with SOTI, you can kind of deploy these patches over the air in hopefully a matter of minutes and understand and maintain compliance, create automated rules.
Yeah. Going back to the troubleshooting just for a minute, now with SOTI, when a warehouse staff has a problem with their device and it's literally on their wrist, we can remote desktop into that scanner and we can see what they see. Even better, we can take control of the device. Like that has reduced the level of support down from hours to sometimes seconds. I mean, it's been incredible. Yeah. Similarly with patching, right? We can look at our entire environment of all the devices we have globally. We can look at battery health. We can look at signal strength. We can look to see what firmware, what version of firmware they have, operating system, all that, and we can push patches out. So it turned this all into it's a very simple process now. And prior to that, it was incredibly challenging. It took a lot of time.
Thanks, Tom. So one of the best things that I love about my role and SOTI we love to do is actually go on site and really understand an environment in depth. And Tom was really nice enough to invite us and get to see the distribution center, the warehouse, even their headquarters, just to really go in and understand how does the organization operate. And I thought it'd be really cool for you guys to kind of see a little bit about that. So maybe Tom, maybe you can talk a little bit about where are these devices being used, talk about kind of your operations. This is where?
Sure. So we're in the warehouse right now, and the bikes that are being processed, some of them are our Red Barn refresh program, where consumers can turn in bikes to upgrade, and then we will refurbish those bikes and sell them through our website in our resale program. What we also see here, these are regular just orders going out to independent bike retailers. You can see the wearable the warehouse staff has on their wrist. They need to have their hands free because they're pulling heavy bikes off the shelf and they're applying shipping labels to those bikes as well. Gives you kind of an idea of some of the scripts that we're using on those devices, and some of the labeling that we have going on.
That's a ring scanner?
It is a ring scanner. We have a combination of either Bluetooth connected or the wired Bluetooth scanners. Another view of our warehouse. You can see we have a lot of bikes right now, which is great. Those large boxes are Project One bikes. So those are, as a consumer, you can go onto our website and you can build your dream bike. You can take it into a retailer submits the order with us. We give you a lead time, we build the bike, and then ship it out to you. What we see here is some receiving activity going on. So we have our own manufacturing facilities. We also have several contract manufacturers. So receiving is a huge part of course, our warehouse operations. Bikes are coming in from our suppliers. We're checking them in, receiving them, putting them away. You can see these folks on the forklifts have scanners that are kind of affixed to the forklift. So a lot of different styles and models of scanners we're using. This is our headquarters, and you can see at the top banners, those are all the athletes that we sponsor that have won awards or that have won races. And going back to Project One, our custom build program, these are the bikes getting assembled in real time here. So you can see all the unique frames, different colors and styles that we have. All those frames get painted at our facility in Waterloo, Wisconsin. It's some of the schemes are just breathtaking. In addition to the frames, so we have to pick all the parts, right, that make up the rest of the components for the bike. All those components get put in onto a cart into bins. Basically, one bin represents everything needed to build one bike. So you can see there are wheels and rim strips and a handlebar and a fork and the frame, and then all the parts go into the bin.
This is the retail store itself now, right?
This is one of our flagship retail stores in Madison. Awesome store. One of the best ones we have in terms of volumes and display.
This part really made me want to ride a bike right away.
Yeah, absolutely. So we showcase a lot of our new models, of course, that we have, as well as all the parts and accessories. We do service in all of our retail stores as well, so consumers can bring in bikes. We'll perform repairs, perform maintenance, anything they need. A look at all of our parts and accessories. As I mentioned, Bontrager is our parts and accessories brand, so we sell helmets and saddles and basically anything you can think of that relates to a bike, we sell or distribute.
And here, Tom and I we decided that we'd go out there in the winter. It was pretty cold outside, but we got on these Farley bikes, right?
It happened to be snowing. We happened to be at a Trek store, and they happened to have two Farleys, our fat bike model, that were just ready for us to kind of go out and ride. So we said, hey, let's do it. Conditions are perfect for these bikes. Let's have a little race. And
who do you guys think won this race? Who do you think? Come on. Oh. It was Tom Spoke, by the way.
It was close, though.
It was close.
He's a worthy opponent.
Well, that was a lot of fun, actually. I loved it. I've never been on a Farley bike. These are fat bikes. I don't know if you've ever done that before, but what an amazing experience. So, Tom, I guess the next question is, where do SOTI and Trek go from here? When we did look at these operations, and we did look at where else can SOTI be leveraged, what I wanted to just quickly show you guys is some of the new technology that we've come out with, which really could take the solution a step further. And so this is an example of what we call live view. So this is where you can see, for example, deliveries that are taking place. These could be devices that are inside trucks. These devices have all these different color icons. Looks kind of weird, but these icons, they actually represent 3 different colors, and these colors are representing device data, business data. So for example, if I were to tap on one of the devices, I would actually see, why is it red? Why is it green? Why is it blue? And so what I can do is I can actually tap on a device and find out a little bit more information about it. This is whether it's outside the 4 walls or whether it's inside the 4 walls. We can see devices that are moving around inside the warehouse. And here, for example, if I tap on a specific device, I can capture information about it. So a lot of our clients have talked about Wi-Fi is a problem. Applications are working in one place, they're not working in another. Why is this happening? Is it related to the Wi-Fi? So here you can actually tap on devices, track the Wi-Fi signal everywhere you go. And you'll see that there's this little window at the bottom. This is a window of time that allows me to go back in time and say, hey, something happened at 3 o'clock on Saturday. So can I go back in time at Saturday and check what exactly happened? This is what we call a little bit of a time machine. And you can grab data from different things. You can just get, device data like the signal or the cellular strength or physical drops of the device. You can also get business application data. As Tom mentioned, there's picking, packing, and shipping going on. I want to know what order that particular person is working on right now. I can actually look at it in real time. And in the case of Wi-Fi signal, I can actually go in and see, okay, there's, some parts it's green, some parts it's yellow and red. I'd like to go maybe a bit back and say, let me trend what is going on with all these devices. And I can get a heat map. So not just look at what's happening real time, but if I go and look over time, I'll actually kind of use this little control panel and I can start monitoring and tracking the Wi-Fi signal strength over the last, say, hour. And when I do that, I'll come back with this type of map, which shows me all of the different places where the Wi-Fi signal strength has been strong or weak, and now I know that, hey, you know what? I should probably add an extra access point. Maybe that's the solution that I need to solve. This is just a quick example of how live view works. And Tom, the other thing that we found was printers. Remember?
Yeah. Yep, for sure. That's one, I guess, to add maybe to this particular point here. Maybe to go back, we're big Jim Collins fans at Trek. I'm not sure if anyone knows Jim Collins, but one thing that he talks about in his books is firing bullets, then cannonballs. So during COVID, we fired a bullet with SOTI. We implemented, a subset of our devices, enrolled them in the Mobi control. We then subsequently fired a cannonball because it works, right? And it works very well. And SOTI was able to scale with our growth through the bike boom, and they continue to support us, very effectively. It's awesome. So that's kind of looking ahead. We're going to continue to add more and more devices and get them enrolled into the Mobi control, namely printers. We have about 150 Zebra printers deployed across our manufacturing and distribution facilities. They continually need patching and vulnerability scans, and currently we struggle with that because and oftentimes we need to take a laptop and walk over to each printer and plug it into the laptop and push out updates, and it's just not sustainable, especially in facilities where we don't have any IT staff. So that's certainly one area that we're looking to partner with SOTI on. Like I mentioned, we own and operate hundreds of our own retail locations. That's another area that we're looking to work out. How can we best partner to help continue to make our retailers wildly successful? And then just continuing with the platform we have currently, making the most out of it, right? Leveraging other tools and technologies. Specifically where he talked about the kind of like the Wi-Fi strength and signal, that really hits home for us. During the bike boom, our inventory, like our fill rates, were down below 10%. Once we kind of caught up and the bike boom ended, our fill rates, we ran out of space in all of our facilities. And we're talking aluminum bikes, carbon bikes, a lot of that product, and then huge cardboard, like big cardboard boxes. A lot of those products interfere with, the signal is disrupted and interferes with our scanners connecting to the access points. So, an empty warehouse, we might be like perfectly configured, but when the warehouse is 50% full, 75% full, 100% full, then we start seeing drop connections, and it's hard. Like we don't have those tools to like be able to work out what should we be doing. Should we remove an access point and put it over here? Should we add another one, etc. So that's another huge area that we'll be partnering with SOTI on.
Yeah, and maybe the last area that we were talking a little bit about is our mobile applications, the apps that they're using. How do you build applications? Today, a lot of organizations leverage software developers to build mobile apps. It's a very costly affair. With SOTI Snap, you can actually build mobile applications leveraging AI. And you can also just drag and drop. So any of you guys out there could be your own mobile app developers to build simple applications. Maybe it's around taking information from a paper-based process that you have today, like an inspection report or an incident report or forklifts that are being used and you need to do a forklift inspection. A lot of those are done with paper-based processes today, if they're done at all. But when they are done like that, where does that go? Where does that paper go? It doesn't really go anywhere. It goes into a binder usually. And who monitors it and all these things. So when you're using paper-based forms, it really, really slows down the organization. And when companies want to use mobile apps, it actually takes a little while. They perceive it as a very costly affair. They think it's going to cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars to hire developers or go and get it from a third-party company. So with SOTI Snap, our solution, you can build it out. You can describe it kind of like ChatGPT. You could just say, hey, I'd like to build an app that performs forklift inspections, that asks and gets name and date, and I'd like to take a picture, and I'd like to be able to add information, a description, all those types of things. And once you describe it, the mobile application gets generated in literally a minute or 2 minutes max. And now you can deploy it onto all your different devices, and your users are already ready to go with a forklift inspection app. So it's that easy. It's literally a matter of minutes for you to build these types of mobile applications. They can connect to back-end systems, so it's super helpful.